We got to take charge. I don't want us to pick out any department head in particular. Some of them do an extremely good job, and what happens, they end up getting penalized from the departments that overrun the budget. So it's imperative that they go by the budget plan. And if there is a chance they're going to go over the budget, have them come to this board or the CEO's office well in advance it's going to happen. We spent millions and millions of dollars on finance systems and computers, so we know where we are financially. There's no reason for it. There's no reason for it. So that's the first. If we can stop that from happening, we're going to make this whole process a lot easier in future years.
Thank you. Supervisor Delbar.
Well, just, Mr. Chairman, 3 issues that I meant to mention and I neglected to do so. We have no contingency. None, zero, zip. And there's no IT reserve and there's no vehicle reserve. Contributions going into those. Not a big balance to begin with, but no contributions going in. And Supervisor Colfax and I were on the board when we set those up. And I'll let him speak for himself, but I thought we set them up because they were prudent business practices. And it gives me heartburn to not continue on with what I believe to this day is a prudent business practice and contributing to those reserves. That's just adds to my discomfort level with what we have to work with. Maybe it was unavoidable this year. I'm not saying that, but it just really bothers me if we're not going to fulfill our commitments that we made a number of years ago when we set up those business practices. Thank you.
Okay, folks, where are we? We're in the witching hour, and we're just kind of spinning our wheels. We've gone through the list, Ms. Glassy. To this point, we're down to a teeter decision, which the consensus is that we gathering more information, it sounds like to me. I don't see us really taking a vote to adopt the final budget yet without that discussion. Am I wrong? Please chime in here.
Okay, well, from the actions that you've taken to this point, this is where we are with the budget. It's at a negative $28,000, and so $28,000 either needs to be trimmed from it somewhere, or we need to find another $28,000. And there are a number of things that at this point are not addressed in the budget. The budget cannot address everything. You know that because you've been grappling with it, but the things that it doesn't address at this point are the teeter interest payment, much less the entire teeter payment through the amortization schedule. And it doesn't address the funds that Supervisor Delbar was talking about, nor does it necessarily address all of the needs as expressed by various departments, including the Sheriff's Department, in terms of overtime. However, it does provide, except for that $28,000, a balanced budget. Those are all decisions that can be made. I would say that this is one of the most difficult budgets that we've had in a while, and it's a reflection. I won't talk about the process. I'm talking about the budget now. And it's reflective of the economy that we're in right now. I mean, the ripples all the way through, and what that results in is, you know, the federal government kicks the state government kicks the local government, and we do not have revenues rising as much as they have in the past. So you just start putting all of that together, and it's forced us into some decisions, and is forcing you into decisions that nobody feels particularly comfortable with. And, you know, we feel as uncomfortable on this side of the table as you do. However, decisions do need to be made, and, you know, I think that you make them with the information that you have. And if we get more information before the 9th, I suppose there's some scrambling that can be done, but, you know, really what would happen is it would be stuff that would have to be dealt with after the budget. And that is a legitimate way of addressing things. It does take a 4/5 vote. But we may simply not have all the resources. And the next step for any large ticket item is looking at very direct impacts on staff. And so if you want to know why we came up to the brink as far as what was in the proposed budget, that's how we got to that point, and what justifies further incursions into staff, because, and I'm saying further advisedly, they're already dealing with higher caseloads, fewer coworkers, et cetera, and all of that has an impact as well. So these are hard decisions. Where you are now is here with some significant things not addressed, but they could be left unaddressed. There will be future consequences, and that's the balance.
Supervisor Colfax, and then I'll go to the CEO.
Okay, just, would it be fair at this time to say the two things before us that we need clarity on have to do with the teeter fund information?
Yep.
And then the landfill closure fund. Once we get those two pieces of information, in other words, can we move money from one into